In this module, we will look at some of the key concepts which explain the way in which people work in teams. It will cover the life cycle of teams, the importance of proactive followership, what motivates individuals, potential sources of conflict in teams, and how conflict can be avoided. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe the life cycle of a team, explain what is meant by the concept of proactive followership, explain Maslow's hierarchy and its relevance to teamwork, and describe potential sources of conflict in a team and how to deal with them. This module aims to introduce you to some of the key concepts and theories about the formation and maintenance of teams. It will provide you with models to help you reflect on how you will be able to best integrate with and work as part of a team in the response. Being able to quickly integrate into a team and work as part of that team in difficult circumstances is key to working in a response. As part of a response, you'll probably become part of a newly formed team or be asked to become part of an existing team. You'll be working in new conditions with different people, perhaps in a new role and under stressful conditions. Teams can change frequently, rapidly, and dramatically during the life cycle of an emergency response, adding to the complexity of teamwork. This information is intended to provide you with some guidance for reflecting on how you will cope with this and how you can help your colleagues. Team dynamics change all the time, and during a response, they may change more quickly and frequently than usual. 3 factors determine how well a team performs. What the team does and how it does it will change as they move through the different stages of the emergency management continuum. The people in the team will also change as the response progresses. Bruce Tuckman identified 4 stages of team development, which all teams go through. They are forming, storming, norming, and performing. Take some time to look at the table here, which describes team dynamics at each of these stages. Tuckman later added a 5th stage, adjourning, describing what happens when a team disbands. If we are aware of the stages of team development, we can contribute more effectively to moving the team towards the performing stage. Many factors can determine how quickly a team will evolve towards performing. Team size and composition, whether staff are together or spread out, frequency and duration of meetings, external influences and time pressures, and the type of work. But fully effective teams are those that reach the stage of performing. Many teams accept storming or forming as a normal way of operating. If a team does not complete the norming stage, it may fall back into storming. The time taken to complete the cycle will vary between teams. You can help the process of team development by being a proactive team member and a proactive follower as needed, and we'll explain what this means in later slides. Understand what motivates and concerns you and your colleagues. Be able to describe the potential impact of the environment, including stress, on your own behavior, and being able to recognize, avoid, and when needed, manage conflict with colleagues. Working in the IMS and in response requires people to work in teams to share knowledge and expertise within the framework of a clearly defined organizational structure. Teams within the IMS will have leaders and team members who should support them. Leadership is only possible when there is followership. Leadership and followership are dynamic during an emergency, depending on what is required at a particular point of time. Followership can be defined as the behaviours one engages in while interacting with leaders in an effort to meet organisational objectives. To work effectively, each member of the team should be contributing to the effective leadership of the response. This type of proactive follower is someone who partners with the leader and knows when to voice their opinion, when to take initiative, when to think independently, and when to challenge the leader if needed. There may be times, for example, during an acute emergency, or when there is limited time to act, when it is best to be a passive follower and follow instructions. Finally, you should avoid becoming an anti-authoritarian follower. This is someone who resists working alongside their leader. Proactive followers are those who work in the best interests of the organisation and mission, who know how to voice their concerns. They speak out constructively and challenge leadership when required, but balance this with supporting the mission. They support the leader by accepting and supporting final decisions. And they learn from the leader. Team members have a duty to support each other. During a response, you'll need to look out for and support colleagues to ensure that they are able to do their job to the best of their ability. Maslow's theory provides a useful checklist for you to consider the welfare of your colleagues and how you interact with them. This is shown as a pyramid, with basic physiological needs like food, water, and rest at the bottom, and self-actualization at the top. Take a moment to look at the diagram on the slide. You will have seen that the characteristics we ask of responders are at the top of the triangle, meaning that you should do all you can to meet the needs below it. But this can be difficult in a response where the lowest level of need may be lacking and makes team management and teamwork very challenging. Working in an environment that meets individuals' needs will improve their performance because they're able to concentrate on their jobs. You should consider the physical and technological environment. Are people safe and do they have the tools to do the job? Physical condition. Are they getting enough rest, correct food and exercise, and maintaining hygiene? And their psychological condition. Do they feel valued? Do they have a role? Are you supporting each other? Of course, we are all human, and conflict will happen from time to time. Intra-group conflict is defined as the degree to which members have real or perceived incompatible goals or interests. Conflict within teams can be divided into 4 types. Task conflict, about the ideas and goals of the work of the team. Relationship conflict, about interpersonal differences or incompatibilities. Process conflict, about roles and how we fulfill them. And status conflict, about members' relative status and the respect they feel is due. Knowing what might create conflict in the team can help you to judge your own behaviour as a proactive follower. This helps you identify when to take initiative and discuss with the team, and when to follow to best achieve the team's aim. Task conflicts can be good for a team and the mission if they are handled correctly. If you apply the principles of proactive followership, you can ensure that task conflicts do not undermine the team. Task conflicts can improve team performance as long as the issue is of high importance to the team, the conflicts don't become personal, they are conducted in an atmosphere of trust, they centre on more complex rather than routine problems, and you have time. Relationship conflicts are normally highly emotional and damaging to relationships within the team. They can be caused by task conflicts that have become personal, the seniority of people in the team, the size of the team, the diversity of the team. Process conflicts are more harmful and can last longer than other conflicts because they're associated with being treated fairly, having access to resources, and also people tend to have difficulty in verbalizing or explaining the issues involved. Status conflicts are always linked to negative effects. Status conflicts tend to occur when people are motivated to obtain or protect positions of power, there are too many high-powered individuals in a team, or the role and status of people in the team is not clearly defined. Conflict can be avoided by clearly defining roles and responsibilities in the team, avoiding personalizing conflict, try and consider the pressures on the other person and yourself, thinking about when conflict might be useful or disruptive, in other words, being a proactive follower, and considering whether your behaviour reflects WHO, United Nations, and humanitarian principles. Thomas and Kilman have developed a model that allows us to reflect on our own preferred ways for dealing with conflict. They measured conflict response along two domains: assertiveness, which is the extent to which a person will try and satisfy their own interests, and cooperativeness, which is the extent to which a person will try and satisfy the interests of others. Along these domains, they've identified 5 behaviours which people demonstrate in conflict. Each of us is capable of using every one of the behaviours, but most people have behaviours that they prefer to use. Reflecting on how you and your colleagues react to conflict will help you to deal better with such situations. Competing is assertive and uncooperative. In competing, an individual pursues his or her own concerns at the other person's expense. This is a power-oriented mode in which you use whatever power seems appropriate to win your own position, your ability to argue, your rank, or economic sanctions. Competing means standing up for your rights, defending a position which you believe is correct, or simply trying to win. Accommodating is unassertive and cooperative, the complete opposite of competing. When accommodating, the individual neglects his own concerns to satisfy the concerns of the other person. There's an element of self-sacrifice in this mode. Accommodating might take the form of selfless generosity or charity, obeying another person's order when you'd prefer not to, or yielding to another's point of view. Avoiding is unassertive and uncooperative. The person neither pursues his own concerns nor those of the other individual. Thus, he does not deal with the conflict. Avoiding might take the form of diplomatically sidestepping an issue, postponing an issue until a better time, or simply withdrawing from a threatening situation. Collaborating is both assertive and cooperative, the complete opposite of avoiding. Collaborating involves an attempt to work with others to find some solution that fully satisfies their concerns. It means digging into an issue to pinpoint the underlying needs and wants of the two individuals. Collaborating between two people might take the form of exploring a disagreement to learn from each other's insights, or trying to find a creative solution to an interpersonal problem. Compromising is moderate in both assertiveness and cooperativeness. The objective is to find some expedient, mutually acceptable solution that partially satisfies both parties. It falls intermediate between competing and accommodating. compromising gives up more than competing, but less than accommodating. Likewise, it addresses an issue more directly than avoiding, but does not explore it in as much depth as collaborating. In some situations, compromising might mean splitting the difference between the two positions, exchanging concessions, or seeking a quick middle ground solution. This slide contains links to resources which will help you further research the information in this module. Thank you for your attention. That is the end of the module.